Everybody, it is your travel agent David, and today is day 12 of our 12-day Amsterdam to Iceland, Ireland, Scotland, England, back to Amsterdam cruise. It is called the 12-day Iceland, Ireland cruise. What I want to talk about is the ship. So I've already done a video walking through the ship. Now I want to talk about what we've experienced for the 12 days here so that you can kind of get an idea of whether this is the right cruise for you or not. First, I want to talk about the onboarding process. So the onboarding process in Amsterdam was super simple. We got there about 45 minutes to an hour before our check-in time. Our check-in time was at noon. We got there about 11:15 because we had to check out of our hotel by 11, so we just walked on over there, and it took us about 10 or 15 minutes to get there. They didn't make us wait. They just checked us right in. It was probably the easiest check-in that we've had so far. Really simple. We sat into a holding area for about maybe 15 minutes, waiting for the ship to open, and then they let us right on in. Super simple process. Then we got in and we just killed about an hour until our rooms were ready. The room is a pretty standard room. One thing I liked about it is it actually has a shower with doors versus that nasty curtain that keeps touching you every time you're trying to shower and the airflow from the water changes. Other than that, it's pretty standard. It was comfortable. It was nice. We had a balcony room pretty close to midship. We were in cabin 8116. So if you're trying to see what one of those cabins look like that has a balcony, I did a video on that as well. Let's talk about the staff. This is our 9th cruise, and it is our 4th one with Royal. And I have to say, out of all the cruises, this is probably the friendliest staff. From the dining room staff to the room attendant to just the people that you come across in the windjammer and across the ship. Super friendly. The officers are friendly. They interact with you. I've probably seen more officers on this ship interacting with the guests than I have any other ship. I want to get into some of the dining staff and a little bit more in detail. But our room attendant, she is phenomenal. Her name is Claron. And if you're watching this, Claron, thank you very much. Best attitude ever. Heejin wasn't feeling good, and she went out of her way to go and give me some tips and things online to try and help her feel better. She always checked in to see how Heejin was doing, and even after Heejin was out and walking about, she was still checking in on her. So that was very awesome, and I could tell that was very genuine from her. The amenities on the ship, the solarium, probably the second nicest solarium I've been to. If it had 2 hot tubs in there, I'd probably be the best. Unfortunately, they only have 1, so it gets crowded pretty easy. Another thing that kind of brings the solarium down a little bit is the depth of the solarium. So it goes from 5'9" to 6'1", and I'm 5'8"-ish, 5'7" and 3/4, whatever. And I had to stand on my tippy toes to keep my mouth out of the water. So for shorter people that want to just like hang out in the pool, they're going to have a difficult time doing that in the solarium. And they'll have to hang out with the kids in the community pool. The pool is, in the general area, the community area, it's pretty decent, standard size. They have 2 hot tubs out there versus 4, so all the hot tubs have been cut in half on this ship. But from the pool and those hot tubs, you have a great view of the outdoor movie theater. So when they're playing the movies at night, you can just hang out around the pool or in the pool or hot tub and watch the movies. So that was pretty cool. It's also heated. I don't know if it's heated everywhere or if it's because it's the northern area that we've been at and they just heated it up. It's not hot and it's not steamy or whatever, but it's not that cold pool that you get into on the normal cruise ships. They have a theater on here. We didn't catch any of the movies because our itineraries just didn't work up with the movie timelines. But in my video of the ship, you'll see it. That's cool. This is the first ship I've been on that had a theater. It has a mini golf up top, and it also has a golf simulator. There's also a rock climbing wall. And it has an arcade, sports court. The sports court's rather small. It's really just like one section versus the normal double court that I've seen. It's really in line and consistent with the one that was on my Virgin review. So if you saw that, it's pretty consistent to that. The bars. They got bars all over this ship, but the best one is the schooner bar. They have made the best drinks by far, not just my opinion, but people at our dining table. They'll get drinks elsewhere or the schooner bar, and they always compare everything to the schooner bar. The bartenders they have there are like the best ones I think they have on this ship. And they have a drink called the sea, and T, like the ampersand, like a Long Island iced tea, but it's called C and T. That's a pretty good drink. It's a drink that they specialize here. So if you like Long Island iced teas, that kind of taste, get a C&T. They also have a drink on here that I found out. It's called the, excuse it, you have to fill in the blanks, but it's called the Mother Effer. It is a Long Island iced tea, but instead of using Coke for the coloring, they use Caracal, so it gives it a blue look. So you're getting 6 alcoholic beverages in there versus the 5, and then they top it off with Sprite. Tastes phenomenal. Really like it. If it came up with a different name, I'd probably order it more, but I feel really bad saying, "Can you give me one MFer?" Right? So, but the bars are pretty good. They have vintages. Unlike the Oasis class, it's like its own little restaurant. It's just like a little sidebar here, so you don't have the ambiance of a wine establishment. It's just like another bar with wine on deck 5. Um, deck 6. Um, the food, the food. It's a 12-day cruise. I'm sure it's hard to prepare 8,000 meals a day for 12 days, but for the first like 5 days in the main dining hall, we were getting our food, and it wasn't hot. It was like light warm. So I talked to our head waiter. I was like, "Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just making an observation because I know it's not their fault for the food, how it's given to them." And I was like, "Hey, it's the food's not hot." And he's like, "I'll talk to the kitchen staff and I'll take care of this for you." And the next day and every day since, the plates have come out hot. The food has been hot. So I don't know what he said and who he said it to, but if you're not getting hot food or you're not happy with the way the food is, just let your head waiter know, and he'll hopefully take care of it, or she'll take care of it for you. Um, this ship also, I've really only ever dealt with the waiter and the assistant waiter. Every once in a while, the head waiter will poke his head in or her head in and say, "Hey, everything good," and then walk away. Dev is our head waiter, and he is there 3 or 4 times a meal, making sure everything's good, the food's good, everything's good. He even has gluten issues. Another person at our table has gluten issues. He is personally taking their order and having it ready for them, specially for our dining, and he makes sure that everything is good to go. So I've not had a more interactive head waiter than Dev. Ralph and Francis are our waiter, assistant waiter, and waiter. They're phenomenal too. Francis came over to the table yesterday with about 10 napkins and made all these napkin origami for us. And then he turned around to the table that had some kids and gave it to the kids. So that was pretty cool. And the Windjammer. Breakfast is pretty much the same thing every day. You can't get breakfast in the main dining hall. You can get lunch in the main dining hall. We did that a couple of times. Lunch and dinner and the Windjammer, you have your same things, and then they change up a couple plates here and a couple plates there, but it's pretty much the same buffet food the whole 12 days. Uh, there was a gentleman, I didn't catch his name there, that I was reaching out to him yesterday looking for some chamomile tea because they had it the other day, but they didn't have it, and he was not feeling good, so I was trying to get some more. And he's like, "Tell me where you're seated at." I told him. He's like, "I'll go get some from the storage." So he went to somewhere in the ship, got it from the storage, came back with like 6 packets, and he's like, "Here, you can have the rest so that you don't have to look for it anymore." Um, that's the kind of level of attention that they're giving over here. When Heejin ate something in the Windjammer, it happened to have some gluten in it, possibly, or there was some cross contamination. She was having a little bit of issues, so she missed the main dining one day. I let Dev know what was going on. He gave me a business card with his phone number. He's like, "If she feels better, call me, and I'll set up a special table here at the main dining room for her. We're open till 9 o'clock, so anytime before 9, I'll make it happen." About 8 o'clock, she was feeling better. I called Dev, went down there, everything was already taken care of. So they are very customer orientated on this ship, and probably the most customer orientated I've had on any cruise. Cleanliness. So I'm climbing Pikes Peak, hopefully the first week of September. So I've been climbing the stairs. I've been doing 100 plus flights of stairs for the sea days. And my first sea day here, I was climbing up, got to the deck 13, and ran into Sylvia. Sylvia is in the head of housekeeping. And usually I don't remember people's names, but I remember her because I remember what was going on. So I went up to deck 13, and because I was walking to 13 down to 2, up to 13 down to 2, um, and she had like some two guys up there with vacuums, and she was pointing out, pick up that crumb, I need that taken care of, I need that taken care of. She's very detail oriented. I need that taken care of. The next day I was walking up the stairs, and she was in there, and she had some more people, hey, pick up that, pick up that. She's like all up and down the stairs, like get this, get that. This ship is like the cleanest ship I think I've ever been on. I can't speak for Heesian, but Sylvia's on it, and she's got these people keeping this ship clean. I've run into her every day, and she's the most interactive, engaged officer on a cruise ship I have ever seen. And but she's like on it, and then even the cabin attendants, the officers over the housekeeping part of the cabins, they've been in spot checking the rooms and stuff like that too. Almost every day I've seen one in the hallways, just monitoring the people cleaning the rooms and stuff like that, the cabins. um, so it's a very proactive staff on here, and they have had several games with the officers, and the guests are competing against each other and with each other and stuff like that, so it's really cool. The entertainment, the game shows, they've had more game shows on this cruise than some of the other ships that I had. The entertainment, we haven't actually gone to any of the shows, so I can't speak for it. We've done the Love and Marriage game. We've done the Battle of the Sexes. We've done a few other games. They've got singers and performers pretty much all day, either in the schooner bar or in the Centrum. They've been doing a lot of things in the Centrum as well. We did a beanbag competition. They were doing a hula hoop competition earlier. Every morning they're in there doing some yoga or some Pilates or like whatever's, and you know they've just been doing it. So this ship is very, very active. A lot of trivia as well. They got movies playing. So the movie selection, they only got like 3 movies they play. So every 3 days it repeats itself. That would probably be cool if there was some, a different movie every day. But they play the same movie all day. Then the next movie all day, so on and so forth. Another thing they have in here that I haven't seen in other ships is this thing called the pit stop. It's like another bar right outside of the casino. So they just got a lot of entertaining spaces here. It was pretty cool. They've done 3 silent parties, where you put the headphones on and it's perfectly quiet, but everybody's dancing to whatever their tune is. The only time I've ever seen it done was like one time on an Oasis class ship, so they've done it 3 times on this one. Um, so I'd say the entertainment on here is pretty good. The arcade they have is entertaining enough. It's like a basic arcade, not a full one, but it's an arcade in the sea. But the last thing I want to talk about on this ship is the internet, or lack thereof. Or is it? Or is it not? Or is it? Or is it not? That's how the internet is. You'll be connected for like 10 seconds and then it kick off. And then you have to, the best way to get it to kick back on is go in, forget that network, and then go back in and add it. I was trying to do some work, and I'd be halfway through some work, and then the internet would cut off. So then I'd have to reestablish my connection and go back to doing what I was doing in the systems for the real estate, because it doesn't save periodically. Loading videos into YouTube, it would kick off, and then I have to go and restart the whole entire process and stuff like that. On my phone, trying to make calls, I'd be talking to somebody for like 10 seconds, cut off. Then I could go reboot it on, talk to them for a little bit, kick off. There's one time last night that within probably a 3-4 minute span maybe, it had been kicked off about 8 times. So the internet on here is, I don't know where they get Voom from, but it is not very Voomy. It is slow. It is very unreliable. So if you're gonna come over here and you're gonna work, just make sure, if you can, every couple seconds hit the save button, because it will probably hopefully save you a lot of effort. Because it's doing it on my laptop, it's doing it on my phone. I found it does it less on my laptop, less frequency on my laptop than my phone. But I'm not the only other person that's had this issues. It's kind of like a running joke around every time anybody mentions the internet, because the internet on this ship is a joke. So, but if you have any questions about the Jewel of the Seas, hit me up, let me know. I know I didn't cover everything, but I'm not trying to do a 4-hour video, just hitting the highlights. But if you need anything, let me know. Until next time, I'll see you next trip.